Hi guys, welcome back. I'm not long in from being at the fish shop. I wanted to do this video today to show that I am still around. I'm still watching all your channels, I'm still doing all that sort of stuff. I'm just not making my own videos at the minute. Like I've said, I'm waiting on a new laptop. I'm probably not going to get a laptop, I'm probably going to build a computer. I can build a much better computer than I could buy a laptop kind of thing. And I'm hoping to do sort of animations and that kind of thing and really increase the production values of my videos. So that's something that's coming, and it is coming. I kind of have the money there, I just don't want to spend it just yet, just in case I need it for something else. It's like a rainy day fund, so that's why that's not happening just yet. But we'll see what happens. What I wanted to do today was just do a quick run through on the tanks to show you what's in them. There's no fish yet, but what kind of plants I've got, what kind of lighting I've got on it, and also I'll go through the sump a little bit, but I don't want to go through it too much because that's kind of what the new videos are about. So there we go, let's have a look behind me at the tanks. Okay, so let's start with the first tank. As you can see, I've got like a mountainscape kind of thing going. It all needs cleaning and that because I've been somewhat neglecting my tanks. My CO2 ran out a few weeks ago, so I've killed the heaters. I was dosing liquid carbon for a little bit, that ran out, but I've kind of weaned it off the CO2, so everything's kind of slowed down. And with me turning the heaters off, that temperature's dropped right down, and that really slows down the growth of the plants as well. If you think growth's kind of related to enzyme reactions, enzyme reactions slow down a lot with variations in temperature. So, as you can see, just here and here, some Starigine rubescens, there's some more just here. This plant kind of tumbling out of here is Macranthemum umbrosum, or giant baby tears it's sometimes called. The moss just here, on this side and here, in fact all of that moss is Christmas moss. The plant at the back there that's looking really sorry for itself is Rotala Boshi Nangistans, something like that. That's, from what I can see, it's quite a difficult plant to grow. It's not grown that well in my tank, although I've not really set the tank up fully yet. We'll go through that in a minute with the lighting and such. The other plant that I've got some Glosso in the front. Glosso grows really quickly, and I think once I get the CO2 back on, get my lighting up, that should carpet in no time. Sorry. So, plans for this tank: I'm getting another light for it, I'm putting the CO2 in this tank, and this is going to be, hopefully, sort of low growing carpet, quite difficult stem plants, lush moss growth on the mountainscape. We'll see how that goes, maybe it won't work out like that, but that's the plan for this tank. So let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so as we can see, I really need to clean the glass on this tank. Again, I'll get around to doing that. I should probably have done that before I started the video, but that's whatever. So this is my low light tank. Like I say, you can't see a difference now because each tank's got one light on, but this will only have one light on. I might even swap it out for a quite a low wattage LED. We'll see. The other tank's going to have two lights on them. So this one's almost entirely crypts. Just here, we've got Cryptovilli maybe as a mother plant. So that's a huge plant, as you can see, a lot of leaves. We've got some Cryptwenties, browns and greens, Cryptbicetti. All this up here is Anubias Nana Bonsai, some spiky moss in there, and some Taiwan moss. I feel like we've got some other ones, Cryptparva in the middle. So once that takes, it'll take a while to kick off, but once it goes, it should be quite a cool little tank, especially when these Cryptwenty browns start bronzing up. When this moss kind of thickens out in these tuffets here, it should be quite nice. Also got on the top here Philanthus fluitans. I'll have a look, like going down from the top of the tanks. at the end of the video. So let's move on to the next one. Oh sorry, also in this one, you can see under here, you can't see it in this, but there's actually a cave that goes back there. So this will be quite a nice breeding tank for apistos or other sort of dwarf cichlids. I mean, based on the water volume, I could probably breed bristle noses in here, but I don't think I'd bother with the tank size, it's not really fair to them. So, moving on to the next tank. Okay, this is the last tank. In the back, you can see some here, but predominantly behind this rockwork, I've got Hygrophila corimbosa. So that should grow quite nicely in this tank. It's a really easy plant to grow. It's grown really well since I got it. The small bright green plants around here, Macranthemum umbrosum. We've got some spiky moss on some of the rocks here, Taiwan moss on here. That horrible thing there is an elastic band. I wouldn't use that if I had fish in the tanks. I don't have fish in the tanks, so I'm using that for now. I wanted to actually tie it with my thread. I couldn't find my thread today, so I had to make do with that. Up front here we've got Liliopsis novazelandae. It's a little like a pygmy chainsword type thing. It's not pygmy chainsword, that's Echinoris tilanus. And in the middle here, this is only just planted today, by the way, that's why it's looking a bit sort of all over the place. This plant in the middle, I'm almost certain is a type of Ludwigia. Looking at it, it looks like Ludwigia repens, but it's very small. The leaf structure is quite small, but everything else about it looks like Ludwigia repens. So we'll see how that turns out once it starts to grow. But that's really it for the tanks. So only a few species of plants in each tank. But hopefully I grow them well. There's nothing too difficult there. Probably the most difficult I've got's either the Glosso or the Macranthemum umbrosum. But once I get my CO2 up and running again, it should be fine. So that's the stocking. Let's just have a look at a little bit of the hardware. Okay guys, let there be light. Here we go. Let's just try and get some focus. There we go. So I invested in a little LED torch. It's alright. So one of the tanks comes down to this, filter floss and pond ceramic media. Got the bubble trap, it's not really much of a bubble trap. Flows over this. I've got two of them coming into this because it allows for crap to collect in the bottom. So it makes it easy just for sucking stuff out. So if I had it all going into the biological filtration, I'd probably get some quite high nitrates. However, if I just siphon that out every couple of weeks with the water change, it cuts that dead. So there's my heaters in that section as well. It's not properly set up because I've not heated the tank for a while. You can see I've got my adjustable taps so I can control the water flow, and then I've got my spillover into the return pumps. Got one return pump for each tank, and it works quite nicely. I've got it set so that, say there is a power cut, the water does back siphon and it fills the sump to below the line there, so it works pretty well. We can see also I've got my water changer bucket, and if we can see right at the back, my CO2 cylinder that I'm swapping out next week. So speaking of the CO2, that's the sump done for now. We have it running to this tank. You can see, probably can't see actually. Let's have a look. We're going to focus. No, we can't see it because of the flare off the lens. There's basically CO2 going into this one. I'm going to get a splitter for my needle valve, so have it go into this tank as well. And that'll be that. I wouldn't recommend just putting a junction on your airline because that's not going to work. You're going to want a proper regulator. It's not much really if you consider how what the benefits are of it. So there we go guys, quick overview of the system. Something else to point out is on this one I've got the, I said I was going to show you the Philanthus fluitans, wasn't So there it is. Under decent lighting it'll get nice and red, the roots get nice and red. We'll see how that does. You can see I've got my little trap, stop it flowing down out into the sump. Don't know if you can see that because of the... There you go, you can see it now. I've got a little video on how to make those. I will publish that at some point soon. So for now guys, I'm still here. I'm still going to make my crappy videos. I will catch you next time. Later guys.